Level up your hunting game and join the cause. Help preserve small-town Texas hunting culture and become a more successful hunter by learning the best ways to squeeze the most out of your budget and precious time out in the field. Welcome to the Feed Bandit Podcast. Here are your resident bandits, Richard Kinchlow and Jimmy Byrne.
So we want to be season relevant.
Season relevance, absolutely. So we're like, well, the dove hunt I had back in October. Yeah.
So you're going to say the dove hunt I had this week. We're like,
That's right. Yeah, right. I shot this whole flock of ducks, God, speaking of, and they were absolutely everywhere. And it's kind of crazy because they're all heading back north. And of course, I was like, oh, have a good time north, you mother. Yeah. So the ducks are moving north. And yeah. That's it. Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's welcome the folks into the podcast. What do you say?
Indeed, let's do it.
All right. Well, howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit Podcast. Jimmy here, joined by the Corn Bandit, Richard. What's going on, sir?
I'm here.
Hi.
Hello.
Good. You know what I just thought of when you said that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That Cankle picture that he sent on this weekend. But
absolutely disgusting.
But you're talking about being season relevant. So
yeah.
What's the topic today?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's April, so
right. So I'm thinking fall recipes for pumpkin pie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Had a clean deer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's technically, I mean, it is exotic season. Yeah.
Oh,
no. We're gonna talk turkey. So this past weekend was the opening of the North Zone turkey season. So the last weekend of March, we had the youth opener. And my daughter and I went with the family, of course. And boy, I let's start there if you don't mind, because talk about lessons in patience. So, again, we always talk about, when you're hunting with youths, you want to try and maximize their success. Okay. Well, my daughter's 10. Her dance card's been punched. All right. So she's used to having strikeouts, things of that nature. Okay. But, she didn't shoot a turkey last year. And, so I really kind of want to try and maximize her success. So we went and put a pop-up blind the night before. Had a couple of cocktails, and that's when our dear buddy got his double on the possums. Unbelievable, by the way. The possum activity at Rancho Bandido is through the El Rufo, and that's something else we'll talk about, because I don't get it. I literally do not get it. Of course, we're kind of chipping away at them. So, anyways, we set up a pop up, and my daughter and I get in the blind. Believe it or not, probably 20 minutes before dark. And man, I tell you, you hear the gobbling when you're in the deer stand and when you're deer hunting, but it's not your primary focus. When you're turkey hunting and you're in a little pop up blind, God, it's so much louder and it's so much more exciting. So I got birds sounding off all around me. Okay.
Especially if it's like behind you, or they
exactly,
they're quiet and then they do it like 10 feet from
yeah. Well, and actually I've got the story on that one too, the following morning of this past weekend. But the Abby and I, we could hear them fly down. We could actually hear the wings flying. They were landing behind the deer blind. I kind of knew that's what that's been a pattern that they've held true to now for about 3 years, which I also think is worth mentioning, because, if turkeys are disturbed on the roost, they sometimes won't go back there. Well, this flock of, I think, 7,500 that we've got flies down from the same, it's been flying down the same spot for the past couple years, which makes them a little easier to pattern. Well, again, really early turkey season, they are henned up like a son of a gun, because the ground's not warm enough for the hens to go nest. It's just too early. So, I knew that really the only chance we were going to have, especially with a young, youthful hunter, is to be in the blind and, try to kind of, call one in, but to also have the advantage of the blind and the cornfields. That's exactly what we did. And we people often say, "Oh, you're hunting by the corn feeder. That's cheating." Oh, it is cheating. Well, let me tell you, Mac. We sat there for 3 hours and we did not see a hide or a hair of a turkey. Of course, had a lot of deer. Were absolutely terrified. They couldn't understand why the night before there was no gigantic green box 20 yards from the feeder, and now there is. It is really funny to me. The turkeys just don't give a crap, but the deer care so much. It's not even funny. So,
yeah, it's funny about the comment about cheating.
Yep.
I mean, the way I look at it is,
Yep.
every state is a little different in what they allow you to do when you hunt. So what does it mean if you don't kind of take advantage of
exactly
what you're allowed to do?
Exactly.
It's like, does that mean you're dumb?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Or
Well,
they'll probably say, well, you got to go back to the origins and all that type of stuff.
Right.
And then okay, well then don't use a compound bow.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
just
they don't shower for years,
Shower
well,
in the river.
Yeah, exactly. And I think an argument can be made that if you are afforded such luxuries like a blind and all that kind of stuff, and it fuels your passion for that for that pursuit. You can make the argument that in reality it benefits the animals more because you're out there spending money on hunting gear. They're out there doing things to better understand the animals. So, that's an interesting topic. So, anyway, the corn feeder went off, and I shot a little out into my pants because I was not ready, and I had a lot to drink the night before. But once I got unscared, we waited about 30 minutes, and both my daughter and I were a little hungry. She was hungry, I was hungry, and hungover a little bit, but we decided to tough it out for about 30 more minutes. And I said, okay, well, and so to give you kind of a time perspective, this is now about 9:30. All right. So, getting to the mid-morning and at this point, by the way, the gobblers had completely shut up. So kind of tells me that the hens are on the move. And I said, well, the fear went off at 8:15. Okay. You know what? Let's just bail. Let's bail. We'll hit him again this afternoon. We take 2 steps out of that blind, and walking down the road from the feeder are 3 hens and 2 huge gobblers. And oh god, it was
so like behind you, so you couldn't see them as you're getting out.
Yeah, no, right. So we're in a pop-up blind to the if you're facing the feeder, we were to that brush over to the right. So you could not see you could not see the blind from our pop-up blind, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we take a couple of steps out, and there they are. And of course, they immediately start, and we just kind of slowly backed up, and that was it. And then really uneventful after that, the Saturday night hunt, we actually went to the front 5-6 and strike out. Nothing even came in.
Really?
Not
even a deer?
Not well. No, yeah, we had some deer behind us, but of course they were not happy. Fast forward to this past weekend, and we've got a lot of friends down. One of the friends would be one of my dad's college roommates. Have not seen his son in 37 years, which was kind of crazy. We did the math. We had a lot of catching up to do because, well, quite frankly, we really hadn't. Really never knew each other. And then the other gentleman we had was the son-in-law of my dad's good buddy, and he actually is the one we went on the quail hunt with, and he actually rode into us at Feed Bandit and registered and all that kind of fun stuff. So his name is Jay. Jay's a really great story, and he's going to be listening to this, so I gotta talk nice, but obviously I have nothing but nice things to say about him. But he's a really great story in my mind because he's a guy who's originally from the state of Chicago, and but I don't think he really owns it though, which is great because I have some feelings about that place, as does he. But he moved to Texas in the oil and gas world, and he's really embraced kind of the Texan / hunting culture. So It's really, really, really cool. So when I heard he was coming, I said, you know what? I'm going to be his guide because, God willing, my daughter will shoot a bird. My wife's actually thinking about it. So, you know what? I'll take it off. I'll take off. So we, Jay and I, huddle into a pop-up blind at one of our your favorite turkey spot on the entire Rancho Bandido. That would be the feeder pens in that little valley, and you like to ambush them on that road. Well, we had a yep, absolutely. And let me tell you, I was thinking about you because I said if he was here, he would be in business because they were right there. Like, I mean, for years, they're always on that road. So to kind of set it up, again, this is a blind that's in that real thick, kind of a mesquite valley, if you will, and then backing that mesquite valley are a lot of hardwood thickets, really. So, you're kind of transitioning from two different, really kind of two different habitats. Okay, so again, kind of the open prairie where the blind is down into like a kind of a mesquite field ravine, and then back behind the feeder pen, you've got nothing but these hardwood forests, or bottoms rather, oaks and pecans. And so what's real interesting about this area is that we knew the birds were roosting there. And so when they flew down, they've got, one of a couple spots they would fly down. So we get in to a little pop-up. We put a pop-up right by the gate that you come in, if you know where I'm talking about. So so the reason why I did that was strategery. It's because the sun will be at our back and we won't fry like a bunch of whatever. So we get in the blind now. Jay doesn't have a dedicated turkey gun. Of course, I'm feeding him, but I got a dedicated turkey gun. I was like, here, try mine on for size. So I gave him my turkey killer, which I love. It's that Remington pump, it's like 24-inch barrel. It's got the jelly head Magnum, bloody slinger head thing, choke tube. And I loaded 3.5-inch Magnums in there for him. And again, he's got experience with ARs and 20 gauges. He ain't shot nothing like this before. So we end up putting a hen decoy out there. I considered doing a Jake kind of before we went, but I didn't do that, and that was based on some of the other reports I had heard. Just a quick little tip for everybody. Jakes, you see a lot of videos with gobblers beating the crap out of jakes. Okay, and that does happen a lot. But what people got to realize, and I've actually seen it more often than not, when I put a Jake decoy out there, especially at Rancho Bandido, with as many Jakes as we have, especially with last year with an incredible hatch, okay, those Jakes will gang up on those gobblers. And so it is not a wise idea when you've got a lot of Jakes to put a Jake decoy out there with the hen, because again, some of these older gobblers can get intimidated. I know it doesn't make sense. Okay, it's like saying a herd bull elk is gonna back down from a fight, but with turkeys, it's a little bit different, and these Jakes will tend to gang up. So,
the gobbler might see it and think, there's one, but I know there's more somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
They're hiding.
They'll be like,
it's ambush.
Yeah. And he pulls out his little gobbler iPhone. He's doing, what are my chances? Okay, I probably shouldn't do this. So we have the hen decoy out there, about 20 yards. Again, 15, 20 minutes before shooting light or before sun up, birds start to chirp. Okay. And then here come the thunder chickens, and they are gobbling from all over the place. I mean, it is almost intimidating how many gobblers were sounding off. Then, 20, 30 minutes go by and they're gobbling again. They're all around us. Okay. But the one gobbler that remained constantly gobbling and was responding to my calls was probably right where you were going to be sitting.
Okay.
Which I think. No, he was just sitting there. You could tell he was just sitting there spinning around, because when he would gobble, you could tell he was in the same spot, but he was facing different direction. So we had gobbling there, then we had gobbling back behind the corn feeder. Then in the distance, I mean, it was crazy. Well, when some of these turkeys have flown down, we had 3 hens that flew down too. And the hens actually landed right in the feeder pen, which was kind of a neat deal because, we were 30 yards from this, and Jay had never seen a turkey land, and I've seen a couple, but to see it up close was really kind of a neat trick. So we're a neat deal. Wasn't a lot of corn on the ground, so they really just kind of milled around the feed pen, and you could tell they were waiting on that feeder to go off. But eventually they left the pen, then they would come back. And then and earlier in the morning they were pretty loud, which was great because between them and me, it was keeping those gobblers at bay, keeping them from walking off. Is kind of what I was envisioning was happening. Well, when they shut up, that's when I started, picking up with the calling, and that really kind of kept them. I'd like to think it kept them entertained. Well, I'd say, about 40 minutes into our sit, coming through the feeder pen from the left. So to the really straight out from the corn feeder. If you're in the deer stand, here we hear this just huge gobbles. Okay. And sure enough, it's several gobblers about to come through the fence. They come right under the fence. We got 3 hens there. And so I'm like, okay, this is great. It's worked. The feeder has just gone off. But it's so funny because they could care less about the corn. They just did not give a flip. The hens, when the gobblers came in, actually made their way. I think they stayed around the corn feeder, actually moved over in the corner. So I was really concerned that we were going to those gobblers were going to go with those hens, but sure enough, they went directly to our decoys. And so I was like, man, I can't believe this is going to happen. And I could tell Jay was, he was starting to breathe a little bit heavier.
Right.
It's the excitement, and I love it. And so it was great. We have the earmuffs on, so that we can whisper and talk to each other. And sure enough, he lays one down. And of course I have the video and I'm going crazy. And then, so he lays one down, the other 2 gobble like crazy and they start beating the crap out. And Jay's like, what are they doing? I said, dude, they are so worked up that they almost like they didn't even hear the shot.
Yeah.
They're so
I've seen that
worked up.
maybe twice in my life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I told them that it's not something that you see all the time. And so, we were just kind of mesmerized with all this going down, and they were doing that, as they're stomping this other gobbler and like literally poking his head and lifting it up. I mean, it was crazy. And Jay's like, man, this is wild. And I was like, hey man, you think humans are cool? Look at Mother Nature, And so he goes, well, you think I can shoot another one? I was like, oh God, of course, please, Jay, So he cycles one of those out and he shoots. Well, on that one, he jerked the trigger. He completely missed. So what do? They completely gobble and they don't move. They go back to beating the crap out of this gobbler. Wow. So, Jay's got 1 shot left and really that's all he's got left, probably in the shoulder too. Yeah. And sure enough, he fires, puts the second gobbler down. So now there's only 1, and then the 1 gobbles and starts beating the crap out of it.
Could have been a triple.
It could have easily been a triple.
Wow.
But I said, you know what? That's probably good. The guy woke up, had breakfast with 2 of his pals. Now he's now he's heading out solo somewhere. So, but it's funny, they're so in the zone. And Jay actually brought up a really good point because we were whispering the whole time, and he was like, it's crazy that here we're sitting here whispering and this gun goes off. Even when the gun goes off, we're talking on the blind, but he doesn't care. The gobbler's so focused on beating the crap out of his 2 dead buddies that he doesn't care about it. I said, no, you're exactly right. Of course, we went and I took 1 step outside and that gobbler literally got wind and was out of there. But
well, I mean, if I was downwind from you, I would too.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. Actually, that was later in the night. They got a nice little taste of that. His father-in-law made chili dogs. So real hot dogs. Oh, it was incredible. And one of them they're like, I could tell your body does not react well to chili dog. No, sir, certainly doesn't. But what a cool, just an incredible hunt, and what are the odds that something like that happens? I mean, I've had an opportunity to shoot 2 gobblers, but not like that, and we've always talked about doing this for a billion years. So that's how you know that you're meant to be a hunter, when something that cool happens. So we tagged him and took him home and got him cleaned up, and I think he's going to make a I took the fan out and did the whole, put it on a board for him and salted it, and gave him the shotgun shells with the beard and 1 spur. Crazy enough, actually, talk about it being just an incredible year. Really, I don't know how much they weighed, but their beards were enormous. When I saw their beards, they were damn near dragging the ground.
Wow.
And I said, oh my God, I think that is and I didn't say this to him, but I was thinking in my mind, well, that's probably a 2 or 3 year old bird. Their heads were still kind of light red. So I was like, yeah, I don't know that, or not light red, but real like blatantly red. They didn't have that white or that dark, that light blue. So I said, yeah, they're probably 2 or 3 year old birds. When we got up to them, their spurs were, they were a 2 year old bird. When I thought they were more like 3 or 4, something of that nature. So, anyway,
wow,
just a really, really cool experience. We had a bunch of other guys shoot birds as well. So I think we took 5 total this weekend. Again, the birds were really, really henned up, but in the middle of the day, kind of like what we always want to do. They were starting to hunt, and even Saturday afternoon, we had some lone gobblers that were kind of working. So again, I think with just a tremendous hatch that we had last year, we got a lot of birds out there. And so hopefully everybody's having as good a season as we are. Wow. I don't think we've ever started a season out like that.
Yeah, that was a hell of a weekend.
Yep.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm,
very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations on that hunt. That was one for the books.
It really was. Yeah, it really, really, really was.
When are you going to put the video up?
Yeah, I got to get that done. Of course, I have my GoPro out there, and when we reviewed it on the GoPro, which is like the screen's the size of a stick of gum, you really couldn't see much. But
yeah,
I've actually got the video with me, so I need to get it up. So, yeah, it was great. Just a real cool
those on Instagram.
No, because they're too long. I can post the YouTube link.
You try cutting them down just to the money shot.
Yeah,
because those would be some good Instagram.
Yeah,
videos,
no, it's a good idea.
Videos,
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, for sure.
Everyone's doing the Instagram now.
No, I know. But believe me, Feedman's got 7,000 people following us on Instagram. Actually, we had a quick shout out. We've had 2 more feed stores join us.
Nice.
In the past couple of weeks on I think they follow us on Facebook, something of that nature. So yep,
cool. Right.
Good stuff, man. Real good stuff.
Awesome.
So I think next on the agenda for me, as far as turkey hunting is concerned, again is trying to get my my daughter and then my wife, get them a bird. And we haven't talked about much because it ain't been turkey season, but we've got that Stevens single shot 410, where it's it says you have to, you don't have to, but it's recommended that you use the 9-shot tungsten. Okay, so that's the $5, or excuse me, I wish 10 shells for like $60 type thing.
Good Lord.
But let me tell you,
Don't miss.
It is crazy. It is crazy, but I'll tell you this much, man. That Stevens with that little turkey choke in there and that tungsten, I've never been I've never been a guy who's like, oh, I have to shoot this brand of bullets because it works the best with this gun. I'm kind of like, whatever, dude. Just put freaking lead in my pencil and it'll work. But I tell you what, man, we shot at 35 yards. Okay. With 35 yards with that single shot 410 with a turkey choke, the 9-shot tungsten ninja stuff. And the patterns, it's disgusting. I mean, it will absolutely obliterate a huge tom. You shoot him right in the head. I mean, it's crazy. It's almost
that's
like
the real key, isn't it?
Oh yeah, right. You're and it's funny,
especially at 35 yards.
Right, even in the neck, I think you'd be okay.
Okay.
So, I'm also breaking in another turkey gun. I graduate. I moved up in this world. I asked for a 20 gauge turkey gun. So I've had some troubles with that. We'll talk about it on another podcast because definitely sighting it in was error or operator error.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm working on some other stuff too. But anyway, I was shooting at 40 yards with that thing with the 3-inch turkey loads, and it was pretty deadly as well. Problem is, the damn gun will not eject them. We'll talk about that later.
Huh? Is it a pump or?
Oh no, semi-automatic. Semi-automatic, and I've been on the phone. I sent an email to the manufacturer, and they talk about which it's a less expensive. Okay, I'll tell you, it's a TriStar. Okay. I've seen they've got some really, really cool looking guns. The designs, the color schemes, I really like them. But they're semi-automatic. They basically say, listen, you've got to break it in, which, on your Benellis and that kind of stuff, there is no break in. You just shoot it, right? Well, on this gun, it says you basically have to shoot like a whole box of high brass big loads in it to get the thing kind of worked out. Well, I shot 11 3-inch turkey loads plus 2 boxes of just regular dove loads, and it jammed every single time. So I oiled it. The action, when you pull the little action hammer back on a semi-automatic gun, it's a little sticky. I think I feel it getting a little bit looser, but it's still a little sticky. So I need to break it down, see what's going on. The TriStar people say that it actually could be missing a gas piston, which that would make sense because it's not ejecting. It's not even getting close to ejecting. I had my buddy, I had Jay shoot it, and when he was shooting it, I was looking to see if it even tried to eject it. It's like it didn't even bother. So I don't know if it's like protesting or what, but
yeah.
It's a sweet gun, and I'm not ready to dog TriStar because it feels ergonomic, and I think it's operator error. So, but we'll see. I'll let you know the update. It'll be after Easter next time I'm going down.
Cool. Yeah, it'd be unfortunate if it's missing a part.
Yep. But would it surprise you? I mean, seriously, it's like I just like cars, houses, and sometimes guns. It just
is it made in China?
Don't work out for me. Actually, Turkey, ironically.
Oh, okay. Well, my Yieldies, that's Turkey.
Yeah,
it's been fine until
they like Russians.
Well, remember, I actually had to use better ammo for that thing because remember for a long time we were shooting that cheap shit for Dove. It wouldn't fire. Yeah. But it's like crazy. You get like Remington or name
right Federal,
right? Yeah, that type of stuff. Yeah. I've never had a misfire since I started using that. But if I was using what was some of that crap, Estate or something else, just it would misfire every 3 times or something.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to see if I can get that thing to work. Because man, oh man, having I've got a little Burris here. Of course, I said we'll talk about it next time, but I'm continuing to talk about it. It's got a little Burris red dot on it. I thought, well, what the hell? Give it a shot. Pretty damn cool. So, it's got a pistol grip. It's lightweight. It came with a turkey
pistol grip. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jay was actually asking me, why do you need the pistol grip? And I was thinking to myself, that's an interesting question. And then I realized why they have it on there. And it's, when you're sitting down, Indian style, I know it's offensive, and you need to like go and move, trying to hold your gun. If you kind of like try to move your arm like you're holding your gun, like of course I'm doing it right now and you can't see it. If you have a pistol grip, it's real easy just to hold it, like an actual pistol, and then you can move around. Whereas if you don't have a pistol grip, it's a little bit more challenging. And I think truthfully, you'll make a hell of a lot more, you'll move a lot more and be a little bit more funky. So having that on there, I think is good. And I also think if you're flexible enough, you can kind of put that pistol grip on something, maybe a little overhanging branch or something to use as a support. So I've always kind of wanted one, and I really like it. I can't say enough about it. I just got to get to eject shells.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a big element of style also to the grip. Just
there's no doubt.
People prefer it, but talk about sitting Indian style.
Yep.
If I do that, my legs are asleep within like 2 minutes, and then if I try to move, this was like the pins and needles in my fucking my legs. And then you're sitting out there trying to be quiet, and I'm like, oh God, you can't touch your leg.
I know. It's like the gobblers coming. Like, I can't move.
Like, no,
paraplegic. Dude, I'm telling you that is so true. God, it's so true. Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about those of those little kickstand backpacks they have now on those turkey vests is. At least I found that I can move my legs out and kind of stretch them and things of that nature. And actually, we talk about a great tip, something I learned years and years and years ago. When you're sitting, because like us, typically we're sitting under oak trees, there's a ton of leaf litter, just a bunch of old leaves, and those damn live oak leaves, when they're dead, they're crunchy, they're like chips, So one thing that I found that's always handy is, before you get seated down, especially if it's going to be a long sit, you think it's going to be a long sit, move that leaf litter with your legs. And so have it just dirt to where when you can move your legs, you're not crunching a whole bunch of stuff. That sounds kind of ridiculous, but if you're hunting,
that's a great tip.
If you're hunting a situation where you've got birds that are coming up behind you, where it's a really calm day, so they can obviously hear a hell of a lot better than you can. You got to do everything you can to maximize your success.
Yep. I totally agree, because I always think that, like, I wait as long as possible to shift, because I'm like, I guarantee there's someone right behind me.
Oh yeah,
making it down.
Oh yeah, no, there's absolutely. God, that's funny.
All right, cool.
All right, yeah. So we're taking the weekend off and be out there next weekend. Hopefully the daughter and the wife can shoot a bird. That would be a dream come true. Truthfully, I'd love it.
Awesome. Well, you have to report back on that to our loyal listeners.
For sure.
All right. Is that all you got today?
That's all I got, my friend.
Sweet. All right. Well, that was a good one. Thank you, folks, for listening to this episode. We hope y'all are having the same kind of success this turkey season as was have down at Rancho Bandido. And hopefully I can get out there at some point and get a turkey. We'll see.
Yes.
But anyway, with that, y'all take care and support your local feed store. Thanks for listening to the Feed Bandit podcast. If you like what we discuss on the show, be sure to sign up to our email list to get even more killer hunting ideas, tips, tricks, and exclusive deals on innovative hunting gear and services delivered straight to your inbox. Sign up over at feedbandit.com or simply by texting the word bandit to 33777. See you on the next one, and remember, support your local feed store.